giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Here we go. You had to be there. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We're streaming live on YouTube. We on Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. Coming up today, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to that week one kickoff. So we're going to pick up the preview, looking at the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys offense versus the Giants defense. That madman, Wink Martindale, the cat and mouse game. He'll be playing with Dak. He'll be playing with that offensive line, and he'll be playing with Mike McCarthy. Before that, though, in the roundup, we're going to talk about the latest on Tyler Smith. We got the Cowboys moving around some money, and then Jerry Wayne Jones talking about Dak's contract.
It's all about the money.
Hey, Jerry's he's a wild man, but you know, normally I don't listen to a lot of what he has to say, but he jumped on the radio and talked about a lot of different things, and we'll just touch on that very briefly prior to getting into the meat and potatoes, because that's just the appetizer. The meat and potatoes is us taking a look, jumping into the film room and looking at this Wink Martindale Giants defense against this Cowboys offense for Sunday night's matchup. But what's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
How is everyone feeling? We are mere, 3 days away? 3 days away from opening night, week one, Cowboys Giants. I am looking for this team to get off on the right foot. Week one is weird, man. I feel extremely confident. I feel like this team is better than that team across the board, right? So I feel extremely confident, but week one is just a weird week, and you got to make sure that you get through the muddy part of the beginning of the game, and then you just take over. You let your talent and your coaching take over because you are better than that team. But we're going to focus on some of the things that the Giants, the challenges that they can present to this Cowboys offense, all right? And we'll get into all that. If you want to call into the show, of course you can, 351-999-3787. Pardon my tardiness today. I got caught up in production things of the show, and next thing you know, it's 8:45, and I didn't realize that. So my apologies, Cowboys Nation. I got y'all though. We're going to have a fantastic show today, and to make it up for you. All right. With that said, let's go ahead, get into this roundup, and get to the meat potatoes right after it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
And talk to you, Cowboys Nation. Appreciate you, Lee. Also, thank you for all the love yesterday, but appreciate that, bro. Big weekend for you, boy. So yesterday it came down the wire that Neville Gallimore, the Cowboys, I should say, the Cowboys restructured, redid, whatever you want to call it, Neville Gallimore's contract. This is from Todd Archer. His salary went from $2.7 million to $1.5 million, and he can earn back to $750K. He said since Gallimore played at least 35% of the snaps in 2 of his 3 years, he earned a proven performance escalator in 2023. I bet they probably went to him and said, look, we going to need some of that back based off of the play from last year and the injury the year before. But nonetheless, Neville Gallimore stuck around. He played good enough, well enough. He fought hard enough to stick around on the roster where I thought that, his seat was hot. And it 100% was, in my opinion. But he beat out Big Bo. And here we are. Neville Gallimore is your backup 3-tech right now with, I believe, Chauncey Golston as the third team. But all these guys are going to move in and out of the lineup. Dan Quinn is a defensive coordinator that doesn't believe in playing any of these dudes 90% of the time. They'll likely play tops. And I'm talking about the starters, that is. The starters will probably play 70% tops. These backups are going to get roughly 20 to 25 snaps mixed in depending on the game. It may be games where Neville Gallimore doesn't see a lot of action depending on the team that you're playing. So unless he balls out. Speaking of contracts, so Jerry went on the radio. Before I get into the Dak thing, I don't have a button, but Jerry Jones basically came out and said, I don't got to ask y'all for it when it comes to trades. I got to laugh because Jerry basically said, I'm the owner, I'm the president, I'm the general manager. Who I got to ask? Because it don't matter what I do.
Work all day, get 30 bags together for you ungrateful sons of and all I can hear is criticize. From now on, don't ask me or mine for nothing.
Jerry said, I don't give a damn. Y'all gonna criticize me anyway. I saw something I wanted. I didn't want to wait. I don't gotta ask nobody, so I did it. Oh, Jerry. I mean, not that we're surprised, right? Like, we're not surprised that Jerry did it that way. He said, I knew how they felt. I didn't need to confirm. He said, whenever these type of things come up, I don't need to have a damn meeting. Oh, man. This is where you can come in here. Toxic Tom, and say, in spite of, right? But I feel good about the in spite part. I do think that we can overcome this year. I just need Jerry to chill the hell out. That's all. Just chill. You got your one little, your tweak. You was twitching to do some Jerry type of move. You got your Jerry move. Just chill. It wasn't a terrible move, by the way. But just chill now. Let your players, let your coaches do their thing, and let's roll. Let Will McClay do his thing, and let's roll. But they asked him about the Dak Prescott extension or what have you, and he said something along the lines of he expects Dak to be here for a long, long time. And they had asked him, is the door still open for a deal between now and next offseason? And his response was, quote, absolutely, at any time. It may be a better time for them to get to a point where they can make a decision. We all know, I do, have times when I get up and feel like locking something down, maybe a loose end. And if I get a chance, I'm going to do it. That should sound flexible because it is. This is a bit of a different tune from both sides, I think, from the first time this went down. The first time these contract negotiations were going down, I believe it was 2019, and I think it was Todd France and his guys, if I'm not mistaken. It was, hey, look, once this season kicks off, just know that door finna be closed. Unless you come crazy, that door finna be closed. And what happened? Oh, Dak came out fired. He came out going berserk to open that season. And Todd France said, you know what? Holla at me after the season. Holla at me after the season. And this is something we talked about a few weeks ago where, look, now, you can play the game, and that's fine. You can play this game of, well, we'll just wait. But just know, if he goes berserk during the season and in the postseason, you're going to have to come out your pockets way more than you are if you were to extend him now. It just is. I believe that $60 million is going to be on the books sometime when the official start of the season starts next year. So you can still extend him some point in the offseason and play with the money. But just know, if he continues to do what has been happening the last few years, right? We've been taking one step at a time. Bounce back from the 2020 season, get to the playoffs at 12-5. Next year, win a playoff game, get to the division round. Next year, This year, what if you win more than one playoff game? You win 2, you get to the bowl, you win the bowl. That bag is going to be stupid. And now you got Joe Burrow. Sounds like he's about to get a contract. Okay. And you surrounded it. See, a lot of people keep talking about, oh, well, he got all these. Yeah, he got all these weapons. Yeah, he got a coach that can call plays better. Yeah, that is setting up for him to go crazy. We're forgetting just 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Cowboys Nation. Amari Cooper, C.D. Lamb, Ced Wilson, and those boys. Nice low offense. 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. You're better. You're better right now. So I'm just saying. Jerry, see it. Jerry, hey, doors open. Come on through. But it takes 2 to tango. So I'm not going to act like Todd France and his folks are probably on his side saying, I think big year's coming. We can get more money. But I'll leave it at that. Here's the bad news that came out of yesterday's wire. So the MRI did reveal that Tyler Smith has a hamstring strain. I got to talk to y'all, man. I'm a little torn on this one. So this is the specific wording down. MRI confirms hamstring strain for Tyler Smith, but Jerry went on the radio that same interview and said he thinks Tyler will be a go. But should he? Should he, Bomb Squad? Let me talk to you. Before we get into Cowboys offense versus this defense, I just want to talk about this Tyler Smith thing. It's kind of ironic that all offseason we were talking about, man, not if, but when Tyron Smith goes down, do you kick Tyler Smith out? What do you do with Austin Richards, TJ Bass, all these things? And what happens leading up to week 1? Tyler Smith may or may not be available. We'll see. There's a couple more days so you got the game time. We'll see. If he's not available, this will be the second consecutive season the Cowboys will have started a rookie offensive lineman, I believe. I don't think it's going to be Chuma. I believe it'll be Austin Richards. The possibility of TJ Bass. Do I like that? No. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I don't. And we'll talk about it in a second here. Is that enough to derail my confidence? Not necessarily. Now, I'm not going to sit here and poop on Connor McGovern. But the Cowboys rolled out a rookie left tackle last year against them twice. Connor McGovern and Matt Forniak. People forget this. First matchup. The very first matchup in this Giants game. You had Tyler Smith in his 3rd game ever at left tackle, for the Cowboys at least, and Matt Forniak at left guard. And you won that game. Was it a comfortable victory? Not really, but guess who was at the quarterback position? Cooper Rush. So you mean to tell me I come out here week 1 if there is no Tyler Smith and I get Tyron and one of those rooks and Dak with Lamb, Cooks, year 2 removed from ACL, Michael Gallup, Tolbert, and these boys and the explosives? My bigger dish. You had to be there yesterday. Classic show on the Vosh and Boy Live show. Shout out to my brother. I'm okay. I don't like it, but I'm okay. So I want to talk to y'all about this. Your confidence meter, I'm pretty sure it's pretty damn high if your name ain't Mel. I had to do it to you, man. Confidence meter is pretty high. What is your confidence meter with Tyler Smith out? My confidence meter is sky high for this guy. I'm talking about like a 9. Like a 9. What is your confidence meter with Tyler Smith if he is out of the lineup, where you'll have Austin Richards in there, right? Princess, don't sweat the kicker stuff. You beat these boys twice by more than 3 points last year, and you're better. You're better than you've gotten better on offense, and they've gotten better on defense. I believe that. But you're right. Kicker is a thing. So if my confidence meter was at a 9, I'll say that knocked it down to maybe a 7.5, 8. I don't think it hit me too hard here. Not at all. And what made me feel better about it was thinking about what we went out there with in week 3 and what we went out there with in week 12. Connor McGovern at left guard, Matt Fournier at left guard. No disrespect to Connor McGovern. He held it down well enough. Fournier was terrible. And then Tyler Smith at left tackle. So I'm going to get a veteran Tyron Smith, first game, should be in the best shape of his life. Tyron Smith ain't going to be easy. Kayvon Thibodeau is not a slouch, and we'll get to this here in a second. But I get him to deal with all this craziness that Wink Martindale is going to throw at you, by the way. He's going to throw so much at you. But I get him instead of a rookie. And that second matchup, boy, Kayvon Thibodeau and them won at Tyler Smith. And then I get Austin Richards likely next to Tyron. That's where maybe they'll try to pick on a rookie when it comes to the stunts and the games up front that Wink Martindale is going to play. But to me, knocked it down maybe a point and a half. I'm at a 7.5, 8 from a 9. Where we at here? Let me scroll back up. My confidence meter was pretty damn high to start with. So my guy, Big A, what's good, Big A? Got a chance to meet him down at the Star a few weeks back. He says 8 or 9. Sin City says 7 or 8. CT Maddenhead says 9.5. Marcus Rose, 7 to 8, 7 to 8. We're still pretty confident here, Cowboys Nation. Tino says it's still high. We got a couple good players. Awesome is a beast. I'm a fan of Austin Richards at tackle, right? But I'm not going to be shaking in my knees with him at guard. Now, he gonna have a tough matchup. If again, this is all if. We're just thinking ahead of time. And the reason why I want to say if, y'all, is because now the second question. Week 1, it's a marathon. You're hoping to play 20 or 21 games. Week 1, do you play Tyler Smith? We don't have all the information. We don't have all the answers, Sway. And what I mean by that is this is a hamstring strain. We were not told how severe. We were not told what grade level. We weren't even told how long he'll be out. But I do know hammies can linger. So just off the information we have, should Tyler Smith play? I might have talked myself into no. I hate saying that. And this sucks because, I saw Marcus Mosher posted this tweet yesterday on X. He said, will we ever see Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, Tyler Bigadish, Zach Martin, and Terrence Steele together? Will we ever see it? We thought we were about to get something similar to that last year. Then boom, Terrence Steele goes down. Right? We thought we were about to get it opening weekend, and boom, possibly Tyron Smith is out of there. We don't know when Tyron is going to wake up and say, ouch. We don't know when that's going to happen. But how ironic would it be if it's Tyler that's dealing with a bunch of nagging injuries, not Tyron? So I just wanted to have this conversation with y'all, man. A lot was on my mind about this. I'm not sure that he should play. Look, I don't have all the information, but I wanted to see where you guys were at with this. So no. A said, if it's grade 1, he should be fine to play. Yeah, he should be, right? That's a good point, Professor O. It is a divisional game. This is a divisional game, but it is, man, it's a line, man, because I want to win this game. Like you said, it's a divisional game, but I feel like we can win the game without him. So do I risk, what's the risk reward? Do I risk him hurting it again for this marathon? Or do I say, let's get you to where you're not thinking about this injury. You're fine. Not, hey, coach, I'm 85%, 95%. No, you 100%. And then throw you out there. for this marathon of a season now we intend on having. It's tough, man. It's tough. But I'm gonna tell you, once we get into this defense, I'm gonna tell you why I think you can beat them. You can beat them without them. Before that, I'm having trouble opening up Facebook for whatever reason, y'all. Give me a few here. This is second day in a row. Before that, let's hit the phone lines while I work on this and see what you guys are talking about. And then we'll jump into this breakdown. We got 850 on the horn. What's good?
How you doing, Skywalker Seals? This is Dallas Sports, 1977, here in Tallahassee, Florida, home of Florida A&M and Seminoles.
What's happened in 1977?
God bless you, brother. Son, it's amazing. It's a miracle that the Lord has blessed me to be alive. I've been the reason why nobody haven't seen me on my channel lately for 4 months. I got sick back in February where I got sick on my tour bus job, and I ended up in the hospital and everything. And then in 4th of July, I was in the hospital where they put something over my heart. I had an operation on my heart and heart problems. And then my uncle passed away, and my mother's he was in his 90s.
I'm sorry.
She's 84, and I've been dealing with her, and she's sick and everything, and she don't know who I am. So I haven't done it on my channel. But right now I'm working on a painting, and I'm doing a painting of our America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, because I'm an artist too, and I'm working on that painting. But and another thing that I just wanted to say, I was calling to see. I didn't even know that the lineman was injured and everything. The reason why I haven't did a video because I was kind of skeptical about how things went last year with the interceptions and everybody blaming Dak for everything, and it's not all Dak's fault.
Sure.
A lot of that goes on coaching. A lot of that goes on how Kellen Moore calling us option routes. It's good to hear from you, brother. I look at your channel all the time and everything, my friend. Law Nation, Big Game James Skywalker, West Coast Cowboy, Mark Holmes, Landlord, and all y'all. I guess I'm not trying to be as famous as y'all and everything, but I'm older than Mark Holmes. But God bless you, son. Y'all doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
I'm an old man and everything. I'm from the time when Dallas was a dynasty in the 70s, and I've been liking him since 1966. When my baby son want me to give him up, he live in Arizona. And he said, "Why don't you change?" I said, "Son, I don't know what they teach in these schools, but you must be smoking marijuana." I'm never gonna give up my Dallas Cowboys. Never. I'm going when I go meet the Lord. When I see the Lord, I'm gonna let you know that he's gonna ask me how I was back on earth. I'm gonna tell you, there ain't nothing like when we was here on this wonderful earth. When this team was formed by the great Tom Landry, Tex Schramm, and Gail Brandt, and this team is the greatest team ever. When I went to that Jacksonville game and I saw those great fans, I was in hog heaven. It was wonderful. I was so at joy. It ain't nothing like being a Dallas. I'm letting you know, Scott. It ain't nothing like being a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm hoping that we do something great this year.
We will.
I didn't want to take over. Son, I didn't want to take over. I just want to share it with you today. I love y'all. Y'all wonderful. Keep up the great work, son.
Thank you so much, sir.
All of y'all.
Thank you so much. What's your name, good sir? I want to keep calling you 1977.
My real name is Michelangelo Patterson.
Michelangelo, my guy. Thank you so much, man. And I'm glad that I can be a positive part of your day in the midst of a lot of these struggles right now. But prayers up are in the chat right now, bro. I appreciate your service. My father was a veteran. I got a lot of friends are as well. So thank you, man, and humbling words, and we're definitely thinking about you and praying for you, man. Appreciate you.
God bless you, son.
Salute.
Bye-bye.
Michelangelo, a.k.a. 1977 here on the channel. Man, B. Bird dropped a super chat, and I usually wait, but I want to get to it because I'm with you.
Super chat.
100% here, B. Bird. B. Bird said, if we can't win without Tyler, then we're not the team we think we are. 100%. 100%. And I feel confident in that, even if he's not in this game, which is why if he's not fully healthy, I think you should sit him. Now, it's going to be a challenge. Let's get into this breakdown real quick. Not saying this thing is going to be easy, okay? If you notice, my key players for this Giants defense, It's the entire front. It's the entire front. Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, because these guys are going to be the keys on the field. The biggest key is off the field, and it's that gentleman you see to the left, and that is Wink Martindale, the madman. I called him yesterday on Vacha's show, Rob Ryan on crack. And Brother L, you're absolutely correct. I should have said Rob Ryan on steroids, but I just feel like he got a combination of both in the system. You know why? Because you know damn well crack not good for you. But they keep on coming back. Wink is a madman. So depending where you look, he's first, by the way. He's first in blitz rate at 39.7% on certain data sheets. On other data sheets, he's upwards of 45% in his blitz rate. This guy is going to blitz. I don't think he's going to change his stripes at all. And if he ain't blitzing, he's dropping back in some form of cover 3. That's just what Wink does. But he does it in disguising it, and we'll get to that once we get to the film breakdown. But where that can bite you, man, and where I'm a little bit surprised when you take a look at this because of a guy like Dexter Lawrence, the 31st, in rush yards per carry, 5.2. So the Cowboys, usually when they play the Giants, they do fantastic on the ground. Fantastic. Zeke just used to kill them every damn time. If you guys remember the first game against the Giants, I believe Zeke, in both games, really, Zeke and TP just absolutely whooped on these dudes. But Wink Martindale might be the mastermind behind it all, but it all starts with that guy second to the left, Dexter freaking Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence came into his own last year and was an absolute menace. I saw a stat the other day. I mean, this is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. A stat where Dexter Lawrence absolutely laps all the interior nose tackles. So, interior defensive tackles who line up at the 0 or 1 tech, aka the nose tackle, right? 0 or 1 tech. These are the pressures that these guys accumulated. Guys like Vita Vea, 8 pressures. Javon Hargrave, he had 12 pressures. Derek Brown, 13 pressures, right? Respectable numbers when you line up at the 0 or 1. This right here had 43 pressures. 43 pressures from the 0 or 1. That is absurd. Guys, the second highest was 13. He was a menace. He is a menace, and he's a guy that you absolutely have to watch out for in this game. Now, him and Tyler Bigadish, they had some battles. Dexter won some battles. Tyler won some battles. They fought, and Tyler didn't die all the time. So, honestly, no matter who he's dealing with, unless it's, as our guy Vach would say, Kratos, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue because he's just like that. So Dexter Lawrence has the chance to essentially ruin the interior of your offensive line if you let him. Now, you also got to worry about Leonard Williams, but honestly, I feel a little bit more confident. Leonard Williams, it doesn't seem to be the same Leonard Williams as he was when he was at the height of his game with the Jets and then the first year with the Giants. So, still a respectable player. Azeez Ojulari was in and out of lineup last year, but one of those speed rushers you got to deal with. And then Kayvon Thibodeau was coming into his own last season as a rook. And he's a guy that I do think will give Tyron Smith some fits, but it's still Tyron at the end of the day. I think Tyron is good for about 90% of the game. Tyron is going to give you some high-level play if he's healthy. But I do think Kayvon Thibodeau will win some. Just don't want him to win and he's forcing a fumble or something like that. But boy, last year against Tyler Smith, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all. So first in blitz rate for Wink, and that's fine because Dak tears up the blitz, right? But what else does the New York Giants defense do well? So you're essentially going to be meeting strength against strength here. Third down and red zone, the Cowboys and the Giants were equally as good last year. The Cowboys were 5th on offense in third down rate, which I don't think you guys understand how unreal that is, by the way. the first week up until the 5th week, and that was the first game for Dak Prescott in the 5 games with Cooper Rush, the Cowboys were abysmal on third down. Bottom 5, bottom 4 team. Then Dak returns, and it skyrockets all the way up to 5th. Is just unreal. Unreal. Nonetheless, the Giants were 5th on third down in 2022. And then in the red zone, Dallas was first. Once again, those first 6 weeks, the Cowboys were a bottom 5 team and shot all the way up to first when Dak Prescott returned. Just craziness. And the New York Giants were 5th in 2022. And when it comes to the red zone, again, I attribute a whole lot of this to Mike McCarthy, y'all. I'm sorry. I just do. If you go look at his red zone success rate as a head coach / play caller, or mostly a play caller, but even as a head coach, his track record speaks for itself. He finishes in the top 10 a ton of times. And you might say, well, Sky, Kellen Moore, right? Sure. But I think Mike McCarthy had a lot to do with the red zone since Kellen Moore arrived. Think about it. In 2019, Kellen Moore's first year calling plays for the Cowboys, they were 31st, dead last in red zone scoring. Mike McCarthy arrives, it increases each year, 27th, 6th, and then 1st in 2022. A lot of people might be worried that Kellen Moore is gone and we might suffer in the red zone. Not me. We saw a glimpse of it in the preseason, but it's preseason, so I'm not going to touch on it too much. I'm going to actually touch on where Mike McCarthy was calling plays. And when he was calling plays, he had years he finished 9th, 5th, 7th, 3rd, 5th, 1st, 9th, and 4th. So I believe wholeheartedly that Mike McCarthy, if he gets down in the red zone, he'll be fine. I'm going to hit a quick reset, jump back into the phone lines, and then we're going to jump into this film room, and I'm going to show you where Wink gets crazy and where the Cowboys can combat. So let's hit the phone lines one more time and talk to our guy, Deshaun. What's good, Deshaun?
Hey, what up, bro? Me personally, I feel like the thing with the Giants is you have to watch out for their blitz. Their blitz is exotic. They can come from anywhere and everywhere. And be real with you, be honest with you, compared like last year, we didn't have a Brandon Cook. Now this year we do. So they really have to really watch out. They really have to watch out because I'm telling you, if the pressure doesn't get there, you're leaving this young secondary toe-to-toe with a Brandon Cook and a CeeDee Lamb to be at their mercy.
But let me tell you, Wink don't give a damn. He don't care. This guy is absolute. He's a madman. He's nuts. So I don't think he's going to change, man. Like, look, I'll be shocked if he does, and if he plays passively, then we just going. Dak gets the line of scrimmage. Hey, kill. We just going to run it straight down. Just going to run it on him.
If they do not change, God, be prepared to do a blowout because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to can you stop us? And if you're trying to run blitzes, people don't understand. Dak is one of the best quarterbacks against blitzes.
Sure is.
He's one of the best. And for you to say, okay, you know what? Because most teams, what they'll do, they'll rather run a zone because a zone, it makes Dak like hesitate or think about it a little bit quicker compared to a blitz where it's one-on-one. Like you're having guys trying to defend the whole field in a one-on-one situation is one of the worst things that can happen.
Yeah, and he even shredded the Eagles' zone defense, in week 16 would have you. You've got to get a crazy amount of pressure up front and then combat that with bad concepts behind it, in my opinion. That's just how it is. And I actually want to get into that here in a second, though. So appreciate the call, Deshaun. Let me jump into this lab, brother.
Thanks.
Our guy, Deshaun, ain't heard from him in a minute. All right, Cowboys Nation, let's go ahead, jump into this film room and talk about how absolutely nuts this guy Wink Martindale is. But in all honesty, though, with jokes aside, we're going to break down what he does with his defense and how the Cowboys combat it. And we're going to look at the film against the Cowboys from last year. But this is from the preseason, by the way. You don't see this type of stuff in preseason, but Wink don't give a damn. He don't give a damn. This is Wink Martindale showing what could potentially look like a cover 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You think all these guys are coming and going to match up here. But at the snap, he's going to send 3 under, 3 deep in a way that Wink would do it, man. 1, 2, 3 here deep, and 1, 2, 3 under. And it works. It gets the quarterback off his spot. Now they complete the pass, but these are the type of things that Wink likes to do. He wants to confuse your protection. He wants to confuse your quarterback. And he'll drop back in these kind of 3 deep type of looks. And if you go back and look at the game the Cowboys played against. Now let me make sure. I thought I had a different video here. Let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I do. All right, before we go back to that, I do want to bring up this video here where Cooks was playing against the New York Giants. There we go. I had to bring that in there, Cowboys Nation. Y'all got to see this. So this was from, I guess, the Houston Texans game. And this is Brandon Cooks down here. Now they get to this look a little differently. And Brandon Cooks pretty much eats it up. In fact, I believe I do have this play later on in this film breakdown, and we'll get to that. So this was last year, Cowboys versus Giants in that second matchup. And the reason why I use this second matchup is because of Dak Prescott playing in this matchup. There was no point in using the Cooper Rush film. Single high here, and if you look at my Twitter, they ran a ton of single high against the Cowboys last year, not really respecting Noah Brown and Michael Gallup, and I get it. And 55 is going to play the robber, taking away this underneath stuff that we love to do with CD Lamb in the slot. And you're going to get a nice blitz pickup by Tony Pollard. But I just wanted to illustrate it from this angle because you can see the robber right here taking away this crosser. And then you'll have these guys running comebacks, of course. And we'll get a completion here for a first down. So, good catch. But when we look at it from this angle, the offensive line angle, you'll see some of the pressure that Wink Martindale wants to put on you. Now, this guy didn't do a great job of selling it. I think Dak can obviously see that he's going to come on a blitz here. He's looking like I'm going to guard this guy, but he's going to blitz. And Wink sends 55 on the fake to dedicate this blocker. And if you look at how Leonard Williams attacks this, he's not really worried about getting upfield. He's trying to crash inside to dedicate this blocker, because if he can get this blocker on him, I got one-on-one here. We got these two guys here, and he's supposed to get this, but he fakes it. So now he's kind of in la-la land, and you'll get a free rusher from Wink Martindale's defense. And that's what happens, but good blitz pickup. If you watch Tony Pollard, boom, hits it, sets it, get a completion. But these are the type of things he does. But I want you to take a look at if this is Brandon Cooks now. Mind you, they don't care about a Noah Brown. They don't care about a Michael Gallup. But if this is Brandon Cooks, you've got to respect this speed. If this is Brandon Cooks, you got to think about it this way. This safety is basically freelancing. I'm not worried about Noah Brown. Not really worried about Michael Gallup beating me deep. I venture to guess if Brandon Cooks is running some type of go route, this safety has to play it a little bit. And then what you can do, instead of CD Lamb doing this crosser here, send CD Lamb to attack the middle of this field, and you've got, at this point, it'd be Schultz in this game, but for the Cowboys right now, it'd be Jake Ferguson. You bring Jake Ferguson to sit in front of Dak Prescott and send him up the seams here. And these are just some ideas that you can attack this cover one with when you got a guy like Brandon Cooks' speed who's going to threaten the defense. But there was no way that Wink was scared, at least from the film in this game, of Michael Gallup and Noah Brown. And this is the play I was talking about with Brandon Cooks. We'll break it down a little bit more here. He's down here at the bottom of the screen in the slot. They do an excellent job, and Eastside, you in the building. Pep Hamilton, is that who it was, the offense coordinator? He's going to clear this out here. You're going to see the nuance of his route running, and he's going to bang that right behind this zone defense. It's basically a cover three, and they're going to have a guy come across this route. Now, when we talk about, I want to play this play real quick, and then I want you to run this back in your head. When we talk about attacking all levels of the defense, this is exactly what Houston did. And when you attack all levels, you make all these guys have to commit. So now he's committing, he's here. You got the safety back here committing, and you got all this space. Just run the space. All you need is your speed guy to run the space here for an easy completion for Brandon Cooks. So these are the type of things that Brandon Cooks can give you on your offense. Let's get back to Wink Martindale versus the Cowboys. Now we'll get this cover 0 look. And I got 86 hot, middle of the field empty. Y'all know how I feel about this. If we start to play, you're going to see, here it is, creeping up into this blitz look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys are going to come, which means you need a hot route, right? Hot routes usually, in my opinion, from what I've studied and been told, you usually send that hot route where the blitz is coming. Instead, if you look at Dalton Schultz at the top of the screen, he's kind of fading away from Dak Prescott. You want to be fading inside so he can see you. I want to venture to guess what happens on this other side here, Cowboys. Streak. This is against a cover 0. Now, normally you can run these 9s, right, and you just throw it up. However, you don't really have a lot of speedsters out there to threaten that, right? So I would like to see something in the middle of this goddamn field. Why? Now, I think what you'll see with Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer, and Shotty talked about this, we want to attack every inch of the field. This is not attacking every inch of the field. This is not helping your quarterback out. This is not helping your offense move the chains. There's just absolutely no reason for you to run 3 verts. And if you let the play run a little bit longer here, what is this? How is this supposed to help me out here? Dak Prescott gets the pressure. His ass is already on the ground, throws it just out of reach for CeeDee Lamb. But these are the type of things I think will be different in this matchup. I think you'll always see an outlet here for Dak Prescott in his face, whether it be a crosser or whether it be a swing pass. As Dak would say, if the play is designed to hit it deep, to check down, it'll be deep to check down. Now, later in that game, in fact, I think the very next possession, we come out in this same look. If we go back, remember, we came out in this 2x3, 1, 2, with 3 guys on this side. We're going to show cover 0 again, 2x3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the line of scrimmage. But this time, Wink Martindale says, nah. We're not going to blitz. We're going to drop back. We're going to send these 2 guys to basically take away anything that comes across. And we are going to dictate pressure and confuse you up front. Pressure gets to Dak Prescott, but he reads it well enough and gets it out for an easy completion. But imagine if this thing got picked up. You've got CeeDee Lamb coming behind, or Noah Brown. I always get those guys mixed up when the film is like this, behind it. Let's take a look at it from a protection standpoint. This is some fascinating stuff here. Obviously, 7 guys are here, but you want to start in the middle and work left to right. Where are the numbers? That's where your protection probably should slide, and the numbers are to the left. So if your protection is going to slide that way, then you got here, you got here, you got here, and here. It's picked up, and Dak Prescott will essentially be responsible for this guy if they were to slide that protection that way. If they were to slide the other way, vice versa, but they don't slide it anywhere. And Wink Martindale tricks the offensive line. Watch Tyler Smith here. We don't blitz, but because we don't blitz, we still are dedicating our guys here, right? We're still dedicating our guys here. And Tyler Smith, you're always taught, and this was actually a good block by Connor McGovern. You're always taught to take the nearest defender up the middle. That's what Connor McGovern does. Tyler should be coming here. Therefore, Dak would have this guy. Doesn't happen. The pressure comes directly in Dak's face. Fortunately, he gets the ball out. And you see Tyler Smith basically holding right here for dear life. But these are the type of things that Wink Martindale can do to your coverage. There was no blitz. It looks like 7 guys. They send 4. And they get a free rusher right up the middle. He does this all year round, and he doesn't give a damn who was on the back end. This play pissed me off. I just wanted to put it in here. This play pissed me off. I wanted y'all to look at the scoreboard here, okay? 2nd and 11. You're down 10-7. Second quarter, you have a shot right now, ball on the 31, right? You have a shot to pick up some points. Even if you're behind the sticks, You have a shot to pick up some points. So what do we come out here and do? Oh, Kellen Moore comes out with some razzle dazzle, oopsie daisy, annexation of Puerto Rico on 2nd and 11 at the end of the half with a chance to put points on the board. Instead of, hey, maybe a dump off here, maybe a quick hit here, maybe a quick out, maybe a run set up third and manageable. We run some damn double dog dare reverse and we lose 5 yards. Setting up third and I think 17. And then Dak throws an interception trying to get it to CeeDee Lamb where once again the middle of the field was wide open. Nobody was in the middle. And we lose a chance to get points. These type of things just piss me off. They piss me off. And this is exactly what Mike McCarthy is talking about, where we got to be smarter here. You're not helping your offense at all. Now we're backed up 3rd and 17, having to make a play on the borderline of field goal range. Yes, I get that, Brett Maher got the leg and he probably could hit it 10 yards even further. But we're not playing for a field goal. We're trying to pick up the first down. Neither here nor there. Now, 2nd and 7. Once again, we're going to go a weird concept here. Play action, max protection. And usually, if you guys remember Tape Tuesdays last year, a ton of times I would always say, why the hell are we sending out 2 guys into a sea of 5 or 6? And that's what happens here on this max protect. Now, what do y'all think the route combination is here? Like, look, if you're going to run max, which Tyler Smith gets just obliterated here, if you're going to run max protection, at least have one deep route, or maybe you have somebody coming in effect in the middle of the field. We ran play action max and 2 hooks. We're not threatening the deep. We're not sending anybody back. We're not threatening across the middle. Remember that play I showed you with Cooks where you had all 3 levels attacked? We're not doing that here. I better not see nothing like this on Sunday. Better not see it. But check out this blitz pickup by Tony Pollard after the play action. After Tyler Smith gets rocked here. Gets a nice blitz pickup, incomplete pass because there's just absolutely nothing there. Now, how can we beat these things, right? We talked about this a little bit earlier, actually a few seconds ago. Let me pull this up here. Here we go. You get some horizontal movement coming across, and you get deep behind it. That's how you affect every level of this defense, and you make these guys commit. And this is what I mean by getting horizontal. You got somebody at least running horizontal. Now, that could have went here. But in the Air Coryell offense, the design is to look deep. And hell of a damn read here by Dak and throw, obviously. But once this safety commits and turns his hips, this is an open pass in the NFL. He's following Dalton Schultz. He's not going to get around in time. And Dak puts it right on the numbers for CeeDee Lamb for 1st and 10 or 1st and goal at the 6 or 5 yard line. So that's how you can easily affect this defense. And if you look at the heat map for the effectiveness against Wink Martindale's defense, a lot of where teams are successful is the middle of the field. And I definitely think the Cowboys will be attacking the middle of that field, Cowboys Nation. So that's Wink Martindale in the lab. Apologies for the kind of confusion going on with the film, but you get the point. You get the point with what you're going to get from Wink. He is going to try to dictate what your protection is up front, which is going to confuse the offensive line. And then on the back end, he's going to try to confuse your quarterback by playing Houdini, really. We talked about leverage and deception with Kafka and Mike Dayball. There's a level of deception that Wink Martindale is going to play. Now, it's different. We pretty much know Wink is going to be blitz guy. We know Wink is if he's not blitzing and he shows it, he's going to try to trick you on the back end. There's a problem with it. The problem with it is you don't really have the talent on the back end if you don't get home. And they get home pretty decently. They were 6th in the NFL in pressure percentage. And I dictate that to Wink and Dexter Lawrence from the interior. So when you say, well, I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but if you have your concerns about Tyler Smith being out, I say that's fair. But with Matt Forniak at left guard, the Cowboys were able to rush for like 160 yards against them. with Connor McGovern and Tyler Smith getting absolutely whooped in this game against the Giants in Week 12, the Cowboys had a chance to be up 31-13 with a minute and 5 seconds left. And if we're being honest, it could have been more. The 2 turnovers in this game happened in situations where you had opportunity to get points. So I think the Cowboys have improved offensively. They have improved schematically, whereas the Giants, yes, they have. This is Dexter Lawrence in another year. This is Kayvon Thibodeau again in another year. This is Azeez Ojulari. These guys get better year over, right? But I don't think they got better enough on defense to strike that much fear in the Cowboys offense. I don't. And I tweeted this out. I'll see if I can find a tweet. I tweeted this out yesterday. If you go and look at what Dak Prescott did in this game, and we only showed a handful of plays. I mean, Dak Prescott he completed 70% of his passes. He was nails in this game. 70% of his passes, and had a QBR of 72 with 2 touchdowns in this game. Easily could have been 3, but 2 touchdowns in this game. And again, they had a chance to be up 31-13, but missed field goal at the end. Giants get the ball. They go down to score. And it looks like, oh my God, 1 possession game, 28-20. It was close. It wasn't. It was close in the first half, and then it was not close in the second half. The Cowboys ran away from the Giants, and it was a 15-point game until 8 seconds left in the game. So I'm still very, very confident in this offense doing what they need to do and what they really want to do against this Giants defense. Again, the statistic that I am most surprised about is that with a guy like Dexter Lawrence, they are 31st in rush yards per carry. Guys, Tony Pollard's the lead back now. Deuce Vaughn's going to get some touches. They had a very high missed tackle rate last year. So Madman Wink, do your best. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. All right, let's talk to Marcus. What's good, Marcus?
Good morning, Scott. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. It was fun getting into the film room looking at Wink because this guy is a nut, but I feel good about the matchup.
Hey, man. Hey, look. Hey, you doing your thing, man. Hey, that's impressive there how you breaking that down. Again, Wink Martindale, he looks like he doesn't know what he's doing sometimes. He looks like he just throwing something against the wall to see what sticks.
Hey, you know what he's doing.
But, yeah, he know what he's doing. As it relates to the Cowboys specifically here in Dak Prescott, as much as Wink likes to blitz, he's not coming after Dak like that. He's going to remember who it is he's playing against. And he knows better than most of us here as fans know. He's not going to confuse Dak. We haven't had the ability to appreciate Dak from the head up as a fan base, I don't think, because there's been so much schizophrenia and sloppiness around the offense, you know, with him and idiosyncrasies along with the play call.
So you think he's going to change his stripes in week 1?
I don't think he's going to change his stripes. Wink Martindale is. I don't think he's going to change his stripes. But I think he's going to hope that the Cowboys are going to be what they've always been, or at least the last 3 or 4 years, and that's pass happy. I think, like you pointed out here, with the front of the Giants defensively.
So what if I told you what if I told you they weren't pass happy against Wink Martindale last year? They didn't throw more than 30 passes in either matchup against Wink.
What I mean is that I think that they're hoping that they're going to have these stale pass concepts to where, hey, look, we're going to show them a blitz. And we know what they're going to do if we show them this, or if we get people, you know, out of position. What they should do is what you pointed out, is they should run the football. They should run the football. That's the way you take care of that interior pressure. That's the way you take care of not having Tyler Smith there. It's potentially not having Tyler Smith there. You go after them at the front, and you take that pass rush stuff away from them. I wouldn't be surprised if Wink, even though he's not going to change his stripes, I wouldn't be surprised if he does call a more conservative defensive game. He's going to be him. He's going to be him. Say again?
You crazy out your mind, fam. Wink Martindale in the word conservative? I can tell you. Let me just tell you something right now.
Everything in front of him.
Let me just tell you something right now. Ain't a chance in hell. Wink Martindale, bro.
Okay.
We got two games of Wink Martindale, bro, against a way lesser quarterback where he ain't let up either. He blitzed the hell out of Cooper Rush too. Came back and said, I don't give a damn.
He's supposed to blitz Cooper Rush.
Came back and said, I don't give a damn about you having no goddamn Dak Prescott. I'm gonna blitz the hell out of him too. Now I'm not saying that he gonna blitz every game, but Wink Martindale, he has this is in his DNA. If you think he finna come out here and just go all Tampa 2 on you, it ain't happening, brother. He's going to blitz, he's going to disguise his blitz, and he's going to zone blitz. That's just what he's going to do against the Cowboys, bro. So I got to push back on you and disagree completely there.
Give it to me. Give it to me. I'm cool with that because that's getting to my point. This is going to be neck up. And this is the thing that I don't think, again, we should ever appreciate about that, man. Because, again, look, now we got options. As you said in your video, man, you got to have a reason why people are doing anything in your offense if you're going to really have a chance to offset whatever anybody's going to do to you defensively. You got to have purposes with route running. You got to have, and they're going to have this with the offense now, basically. They're going to have somebody that's going to challenge deep. They're going to have somebody that's going to attack the middle of the field. That's usually going to be the hot route. They're going to have somebody that all else fails back here, pull the escape cord, pull the emergency cord. So now, again, it's on Dak to make a good decision. And I trust Dak's decision making. Trust me, I do. I do. I'm one of those people.
He was 31. He was 21 to 30 in that game. I think it was 21 to 30. 70% completion, like I said, with the 2 interceptions, by the way, 2 touchdowns and 72 QBR against Wink last year. In my opinion, it was not great protection and it was not great concept. So just imagine if he gets just adequate protection in that, on Sunday, and he gets better concepts and he has better players. I just don't think there's an answer that whether it be conservatism, whether it be aggressiveness. If you're going to try to beat this unit, in my opinion, and Dak Prescott with who Wink is, I think you have to do with what got you here. Right? What's that saying? Dance with the lady that you brought to the prom. I think it'd behoove Wink to get to week 1, and he's become the defense coordinator. He's become by doing it his way, and then all of a sudden switching it up, knowing good and goddamn going well that Dak he can destroy zone coverage too. Where Dak struggled earlier a few years ago, it was more about pre-snap stuff and what you were doing on the back end, which is safeties, But a lot of what Wink likes to do is he'll show you a zone, he'll show you a blitz, heavy blitz early at the line of scrimmage, and then he'll drop a lot back to clog the middle of the field. But I don't think he has good enough players on the back end to really affect what we have on the outside. So I think he's going to dance with the lady he brought to the prom and hope that Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams, Azeez Ojulari, the kid they got, Isaiah Simmons, like these guys can provide enough pressure and he can confuse Dak on the back end enough. So,
I don't doubt that's Wink. Wink's going to do that. He's going to test you because he got to be himself. I think if they do that, it's going to be over with pretty quickly. And if they do that again, I don't think it's underestimating Dak. I actually think it's respect for Dak if he's going to be that aggressive because he knows he has to come and get the quarterback, get him on the ground, particularly Dak. I think if he's committed to doing that. But again, we got an off-speed pitch now, as far as concept and as far as offense and game plans are concerned. We got an off-speed pitch. That might have worked before, because whatever we had going with our past concepts.
That's the thing.
No, it did. Again, and that's Dak.
Think about that. Think about it. He tried everything. He tried everything he could in that game, and he even got turnovers from it. And the Cowboys still racked up 400 yards offense and put up 28 points and could have easily been 30. So, I don't think there is an answer here. I just think he has to hope that his things hit and he gets home, because this team is much better. You got Brandon Cooks out there. You got CeeDee Lamb out there. And you got way different concepts. You're not going to see middle of the field empty half of this damn game. So, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck. Again, the whole thing with me, man, this is going to be a snapshot of the whole season for me. From that now, it's not about the script with Dak. It's about the plot. For me, it's kind of like, Robert Downey Jr., I love him. He's wild. He's a wild actor. His second part of his career has been wild. He's a guy that most people when they cast him, they don't give him lines to say. You know, they give him something to do. He actually writes his own scripts in a lot of ways. And with Dak, I think that's what needs to happen with Dak. Dak needs to not be given a script. He just needs to be given a plot. And I think that's what Mike McCarthy is going to do, making sure everything around Dak is sewn up. Everybody knows what their job is. Everybody knows what they have to do. And let Dak paint the picture, as your Michelangelo Collins said. Let Dak paint the picture. Because trust me, most defensive coordinators in this league, if they've seen Dak 2 or 3 times, they know how good he is. And they know the best thing to do is if he's got the ball in his hands is to come and get him. All right? So if they really committed to, hey, we got to get Dak on the ground, they're going to get their head beat in. Because Dak is he's gonna have options. He's gonna if you come at him, he's got his hot route. If you try to play it straight up, he can hit you deep. All else fails, he can pull the emergency cord. So hey, I just can't wait to see it because this is gonna be chapter 1 of a 17-page story right now. So we'll see what happens, man.
20-page story. No. 20-page. Come on, dog. We talking about.
How about them Cowboys? 20 pages. That's right. I'm sorry, man. 20 pages. Right. I got you, bro. Go ahead, man. Love the film. Thank you, sir.
Salute, Marcus. It's interesting. He brought up about him painting the picture. If you listen to Mike McCarthy and the players, that's what's going to happen. And it's funny because he called the plays. But you saw him get to the line of scrimmage a lot in this game. I didn't show it in the film. But he got to the line of scrimmage, and he's audible and whatnot and changing the plays up front from a pass into a run or a run to a pass. I truly do believe, he was nails against Wink. And I wanted to use this game because Cooper Rush game doesn't matter. Cooper Rush was the quarterback. So you want to see how he's going to play against Dak. And I don't foresee that changing. I think you'll get to the line of scrimmage, and as you heard Lamb say and as you heard McCarthy say, he'll get up there and he'll have autonomy to get into better things. I do think there's a difference in getting to the line of scrimmage, having 2 plays, and that's what you're getting into, as opposed to, okay, I'm not going to change what's happening over here, but because I'm getting this one-on-one over here, I can easily call whatever I need to do whatever hand gesture I need to do, and I know I have this on the back end because this marries what I want to do with this audible. So these audibles are necessarily baked into the play. It's not an entirely different play. And that's just kind of a weird way of saying what Lamb has been saying, what Dak has been saying, what all these players have been saying. It's easier on these wide receivers when they get to the line of scrimmage, easier on the quarterback when they get to the line of scrimmage. There's really no more thinking. And he'll just tell you what we're going to do, and you're going to run and do it. There's no post-snap, I'm figuring out what the hell was going on. If post-snap, it's not there, I don't need to wait for you to see it ain't. I'm coming right off you and I'm going to my next spot because I know if it's not there, that means that linebacker pulled in to this slant or this out or whatever, and I got a backside dig wide open. So it's a lot of cat and mouse, and that's what the NFL is with these top quarterbacks and these defensive coordinators. 469, what it is, what it do?
All right, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, great. Hey, I've been watching your show, for like forever, so really appreciate to get on. Now, I may just be going crazy out of my mind, but I've been following this story about Los Angeles Rams, right? They have a crazy season coming up, a lot of young guys.
Rams?
Old dudes the Rams, yeah.
Okay.
That the narrative for where they're going forward. They're likely to break up the older teams. Now, we all know this is the year, right, that Jerry's willing to do anything, even drafted a D1 like an actual nose tackle. That was crazy, right? I think there's a world where the Cowboys try to go get Aaron Donald, saying F their entire plan for, keeping powder and money and cash for everybody else and saying this is our year. We can even keep Aaron the second year, and we can go back-to-back with it. Because imagine Aaron at year 3. There, you can move Micah to linebacker, and it would get scary. And there's like nothing anybody could do. So I just wanted to ask you your thoughts. In what situation would you, if you were Jerry, actually pull the plug?
You're talking about this year?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have to do research. I don't know what that would entail. But look, on the surface, I would love to have Aaron Donald. On the surface, right? But then there's the real stuff. There's the context stuff. Am I giving up the whole future, for Aaron Donald? Like, what are we talking about? Who else?
The Rams are saying, insiders are saying that it would be a first-round pick. His contract right now would be
ridiculous.
30.
Is Aaron Donald going to cost me Micah Parsons? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the type of conversations I got to have. If it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, if it's not going to cost me Micah Parsons, if it's not going to cost me CD Lamb, come on, yeah, sign me up. But is this real? Like, they're real life are trying to get rid of Aaron Donald?
They will likely do it if he's willing, right? Their insiders are showing, the Los Angeles Rams, at least insiders, are saying that if he's willing by the October 31st deadline, there's a real chance that he would be moved to go to a contender. So it's us versus the Chiefs, the Jets, everybody else. But for us, no matter who it is, it'll be a first and maybe small player. But the question we would have to answer is taking on his $33 million contract for next year. Then there's an out after 24, but Aaron may want something else, like another additional 2-3 years after. But nonetheless, it's eating up $33 million in cap space off one player that's not a quarterback next year. Again, it's a lot of numbers to mingle even for a first-round pick. But we gave up a first round for Amari, basically had him for 3 years.
If it's just one first-round pick, I mean, that's I'll take that. But what will it cost me? Will it cost me a player? You know what I'm saying? Will it cost me a guy like Michael Parsons, I think is the next Aaron Donald?
Who would be dangle because it would replace Cooper Kupp, because Cooper Kupp is going to be on his way out from there, is we would give up Michael Gallup. Now, I'm just saying that I would do it if it was me, knowing I got Tolbert in the background.
I don't really care about Michael Gallup. I'm talking about what it cost me Micah Parsons.
Oh, it's for sure not going to cost Michael Parsons. There's no situation worldwide that they would actually do that. Like, nobody's going to ask for Michael Parsons. But I'm not talking.
I don't think you follow what I'm saying. I'm not talking about in a trade. I'm talking about if you're absorbing what looks like, and I don't think it'll be the full $33 million if you're getting him in the middle of the season, unless you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
So you're probably only taking on maybe half of that, and then next year you're likely taking on about $34 million on the cap, unless you extend them. Will that cost me Micah and CD? Is what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know the answer to that, Sway. If you just told me, hey, turn off the cap space, turn off the this and that, you'll be good to go, Sky. You're going to keep Mike. You're going to keep CD. You only got to give up one first-round pick, and you move on from Michael Gallup. Who the hell says no? Who says no?
I don't know. Just Skywalker, just keep that in the back of your mind every week. Once you see the Rams start losing games.
Let me just tell you right now. I'm going to just be straight up real with you, brother.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
I'm not keeping it in the back of my mind. I'm not keeping it in the front, to the side, the left, the right. I do not care about what's happening over there in LA. I don't care if it's Aaron Donald. I'm entertaining the conversation for you, brother. I am. But I don't think we need him. Thus, I'm not about to sit here and really have it weighing on my head. The Cowboys got a good enough team to win the Super Bowl, bro.
That's fair.
But if
they don't.
But if you tell me we can get Aaron Donald for nothing, I mean, who's saying no? If we're going to play in the fantasy land, right? Like, if I can get AD for essentially nothing, that's what you're basically saying. One first-round pick, and that's it. And I feel like teams would be lined the hell up to bring in Aaron Donald.
Some people can't eat that contract, and they still do. But anyways, I ain't going to take up the phone line. I appreciate the show and definitely catch it, especially love the video sections because I love the technical aspects. But, hey, I'll call in around mid-October reminding you, hey, I said this 2 months ago. We're about this time. We'll see what happens.
Reminding me what? Reminding me that we got him, or reminding me that he out there?
He's going to be out there for that price.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, man.
You guys have a good day.
Yep, salute. I don't think trading Aaron Donald is far-fetched because they've done it. Jalen Ramsey, Jared Goff, like they actually trade. I don't see that being far-fetched. The Cowboys actually doing it, Yeah, that'll be that's tough for me to fathom. Like I said, I'll entertain a conversation respectfully. But personally, I do not care about that because I don't think it's realistic. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to do these things. Now, you ask me, Skywalker, still remove your Cowboys hat, put your Madden hat on. I can go get Aaron Donald and not sacrifice Micah Parsons' contract, not sacrifice CeeDee Lamb's contract, not sacrifice Dak Prescott's contract, and I'm only giving up a first-round pick. I mean, who's saying no? No? Who's saying no? Interesting. I mean, that one came out of left field. Didn't expect to hear that one. I thought I would hear the Chris Jones thing, and somebody put something out there on the Twitter sphere that Chris Jones, the Cowboys, Chris Jones for Osa Digizua and some pick or what have you. Like, look, man, look, I get it, but you guys know I don't even entertain these kind of wild things. But it's not because I don't want to. It's because we're talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about like we just invested a first round pick in a defensive tackle. We have very high hopes for a guy like Osa Digizua. I highly doubt anybody in that room in the front office is thinking about an Aaron Donald trade for a first round pick and absorbing that cap because it's the Cowboys. All right? Like they're looking at Osa as a up and coming guy. They just drafted a first round pick. Bro, we're talking about trading a first and absorbing $60 million in cap over 2 years when they ain't even take a defensive tackle for 30-some years. So my apologies if I find this hypothetical a bit far-fetched for the Cowboys. For the Rams, no. If the Rams are saying, hey, look, man, it's over, it's a wrap, we're just going to ship everybody out. Jalen Ramsey, like I said, Jared Goff, Aqib Talib. I mean, we had the whole list a couple years ago. They're accustomed to doing this. Sure. Captain, chill. Do I got somebody else on the line? I do. Come on, man. It's your man, 100 grand. What's good?
What's good, my guy? Yeah. You, not us, dog. Not with Catboy.
Yeah, I mean, look, bro.
Not with that contract.
Nah. I don't foresee it happening with
people we got to pay.
Yeah.
We gonna get him and then absorb that contract. Come on, nah, it's not happening. Now, if the Rams say they're going to pay most of the contract, and we can, but then again, how much of it? It's just not feasible. It's not feasible. It's not.
Look, I get it because it gets exciting when you think about adding these type of players on your team. But man, we're talking Dallas now. So if you can get a Brandon Cooks Gilmore situation where you're getting one of these, maybe second tier players for a 5th and 6th round pick, that's a different discussion. But I just don't see him trading for Aaron Donald, but that's not what he does.
No, I don't see a trade for Aaron Donald at all. Even if they wanted a 5th or a 6th, you got to absorb that contract. That contract is too big, man. Too big.
Yeah, he'd have to hit him with
that's gonna mess up too many situations, man. I don't see it. He'd have
to do one or two things. Tell him, hey, you got to take on a lot of this money, and then B, we're going to extend you. And he's 32, so he probably got some good years unless he wants to retire. Because you'd have to extend him to knock that cap hit down. So if you're going to do it, this has to be something where you're looking to keep him for the next 3 to 4 years, right? So you can spread out the cap hit, and you just got to say, hey, I'm gonna chalk up this first round pick. If it's just one, which boy, I just find that hard to believe. What did they just trade Ramsey for? I'm out of curiosity. Let me just see this real quick.
A 4th
round pick. So they traded Ramsey for a 4th round pick, and Ramsey right now is kind of falling off a little bit from a cornerback standpoint. Aaron Donald's still Aaron Donald, one of the all-time greats. I find it hard to believe you only gonna get a 1st for him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think they would be looking for a 1st, but maybe a 3rd. A 2nd, a 3rd, but I don't know if they'll get that because of the contract. And we already traded out 4th, and we don't have a 4th or 5th. So they're not going to say, okay, Cowboys,
that's a good point,
too.
Donald
for a 6th. They're not going to do that.
That's a good point too.
They're not going to do that.
If you trade one of the other, you will have 2 picks in the whole draft.
Yeah.
Anyway, man.
Cowboys ain't doing that.
I mean for that to take over the show. Interesting discussion though.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as the Cowboys, man, and the Giants, listen. It's just the matchup. It's like boxing. Matchups make fights. This matchup just fits Dak Prescott. If you blitz him, he's gonna tear you apart. If you say, okay, all right, we're not going to blitz, it's over for you because we got the wide receivers that if you don't blitz and you give Dak some time, come on, man, what you going to do with CD and Cook? What you going to do with CD, Cook, Lamb? What you going to do with
TP, Ferguson? The whole unit is totally different from week 1 last year.
It's totally different. And they're relying on their guys to get home. That's what they're relying on. They're relying on their guys to get home. And with our offensive line, that's just not going to happen all the time. It's not. It's not going to happen all the time. And Dak is confident with running now. So I don't see them getting home. So I just see them getting cooked, man. I see us putting up 30 points, over 30.
Yeah.
Over 30.
We should have had 30 last year on their asses, but I'm with you. It's I think Wink. I think they know this. It's going to be difficult dealing with him. So I think the best way to try to deal with him is to get home, like you said, because they did pressure him a lot, and he still again was just nails against him in my opinion. But what if he's not? That's I think their thought process. What if we get a sack fumble, right? We get maybe a pick 6 instead of just an interception, and we got to drive the length of the field with our suspect offense type of situation. So I just think
I call those fluky touchdowns. I call those fluky. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, a team is going to get that. I mean, look at TCU. They got one of those fluke touchdowns when my man ran the kickback. That wasn't their offense. That was a special teams touchdown. Their offense didn't produce that point. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like that's the only way they got a shot is if the special teams run a kickback or if, an interception happens or a fumble. But I call those things flukes, man. I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, but I don't think that that's enough that's going to put the Giants over the top in beating us.
Yeah, they'll have to muddy this game up. It'll have to be ugly. They can't allow us to run the way we run. Yeah.
And they got 2, to my knowledge, rookie corners.
I didn't even talk about the secondary because the secondary is just it's not it for me, man. It's not it for me.
They got 2 rookie corners, Scott. 2 rookie corners against Cooks and Lamb. Scott, barbecue chicken. I see the game plan already. Barbecue chicken. And if you move, where you going? They're gonna have to play too high whole game. They ain't got no choice.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to play too high all game. And as soon as they play too high, we got one. Don't forget, we got Gallup.
Yeah, so they're going to be rolling out some young secondaries. And I said this yesterday on Vacha's show. McKinney can make a play, right? If you're not careful, he can make a play on the ball. They had a cat last year who was pretty decent in coverage too. But I mean, they lost Love. They rolling out Banks, Hawkins. We know about Adoree Jackson, but Adoree Jackson, he got worked in both games. Both with Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. They did get Okereke, I believe his name is, the linebacker. So they might have got better there, but I just don't think on the back end they have enough, and which is why Wink. Granted, Wink crazy as hell. Wink don't give a damn who back there anyway. But which is why you see, Wink is going to do what he does. But when it was extremely successful in Baltimore, is when you had like Marcus Peters and Humphreys, right? These guys are anchoring corners and creating a ton of turnovers and sacks and pressures because you can't get the ball off. So it's going to be a double-edged sword with him. Yes, we get home, great. If we do not, boy, we got that on the back end.
It's going to be barbecue chicken, and we can run the ball. They're going to play a lot of too high, so which means we can run the ball, we can pass the ball. It's just nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. And as far as Daniel Jones is concerned, I don't care nothing about that line. We got our defensive line. Matter of fact, our defense as a whole is just too much. I just feel like that's too much. And we go Monday morning, the fall of Daniel Jones will be talked about. I just feel like that's like, man, the Giants just got destroyed. I'm telling you right now.
It won't shock me
come Monday
if Daniel Jones runs a whole lot in this game. In the sense of
he's gonna run. He's gonna run because come on, you got DeMarcus Lawrence, you got Michael Parsons gonna be chasing them all game. I mean, he's gonna be running for his life.
Yeah.
And Saquon not gonna have a big game. He's not. We plugged up that middle. So what's Saquon gonna do?
100%.
I just don't think. I see them scoring. I give them 14 points. I'm gonna be generous and give the Giants 14. If they score more than 14 points, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe look, they averaged 18 last year, but yeah, they'll get their little bitty points. But it's going to be about stopping the Cowboys' offense, and if the Cowboys' offense can get up early, that's going to put your boy Daniel Jones in a bind, bruh. It's going to put him in a bind.
And don't forget, we got Mike that's going to control that clock. We're not going to get up and just, you know what I mean? So
we ain't going to get down to the 30-yard
touchdowns,
line, run some razzle-dazzle play that takes us up out of field goal position or puts us in a predicament. So yeah, Mike, I think Mike is going to be fired up for this game.
Control the clock. I don't feel like we're going to beat the Giants in two ways. We're going to shoot them out, and we're going to control the clock so that offense don't even get on the field. That's what the Giants going to talk about. Oh, we didn't even get on the field. Our offense didn't even get a lot of shots. That's how you beat them. I think that's going to be the formula on how we going to beat the Giants on Sunday. We going to get up and we going to hide. We going to get up and hide. We going to get up and hide. You're not going to be able to catch up. Number one, because our defense is going to be too good.
Okay.
And number two is because we're going to play that ball control. That's going to keep our defense fresh.
Yeah, man. Hey, appreciate the call, $100,000. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up, good brother.
All right, bro.
Salute. Running high sound a little scary though, but I get what you're saying. The kind of that keep away Garrett ball. I hate that. I rather liken it to closing out the game. You know what I mean? Let's close this thing out. The one thing that I did like in the early Coach Cupcake, Wade Phillips, closed out pretty good. Closed out pretty good with Marion the Barbarian, Julius Jones. Julius Jones. Makes a little TC in there, a little Felix Jones. But we closed out pretty damn good. Even early in the Dak Prescott era, we closed out pretty damn good. And then we didn't start closing out good at all. So if we get up, and this is what I don't want to happen, right? We get up and all of a sudden, we're gonna run the ball 17 straight. That's not I don't think what he means. It's situationally. Okay, we're in 3rd and 2 or 2nd and 2. We don't need to do anything crazy. Let's go ahead and keep these chains moving. Maybe on 1st and 10 you do dump it off or you get some easy reads, but there was too many times last year where you got in situations where we talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars game. We talk about the Houston Texans game. You're in these spots on the field that just make no sense. Yeah, we talk about I don't want to use the Packers because we were up 14, then the defense kind of fell on its ass there. But nonetheless, the Jaguars game is a perfect example. 3rd and 10, make them use the last time out. Close out this game. You win. I think the Cowboys win if they call that timeout. Instead, not only do we run a stupid play, we run a stupid play to Noah Brown because, again, when you put CeeDee Lamb in the slot and you just run him up the seam, all I got to do is triple team him because it's 3rd and long, and good luck throwing to Noah Brown. But neither here nor there, we broke down the film, showed you some of those plays I don't really expect to see on Sunday. If so, we're going to break it down on Tuesday and tape Tuesday and talk about it. Now, it ain't going to be clean. Let me just tell you that right now. It would not be clean. It wasn't clean last year. Every game's not going to be clean. There's going to be parts of this game where we're going to be scratching our head at the offense. We're going to say, what was that look? What was that call? What was that throw? Whatever, because that is the National Football League. So I'm just preparing you for that. Because nobody's going to tell you that with this team. This team has to be perfect. This quarterback has to be perfect. This coach has to be perfect. Game in, game out, down in, down out, throw in, throw out, play call in, play call out. That is what these people who hate this team, hate this quarterback, hate this coach, that's the expectation they put on them. In reality, it may look like 21 for 30, 70%. You get 2 touchdowns, right? That's a great game. That's a great game. But the internet, the detractors, we're going to live and die on every play, every throw, and we're going to judge the whole season based off of that. I just know that's what's going to happen. But that's why we got film. That's why we bring context here, and that's what we're going to do come Tuesday once we get on here. All good, Kev. What's up with you? Of course, we got to let it go, but we're talking about the matchup, brother. You must have missed the breakdown. If you missed our film breakdown, for those who are just rolling up in here, you missed a fantastic film session talking about the Giants defense against the Cowboys offense, Wink Martindale versus Dallas. We have film of Wink Martindale playing against the Cowboys, but it was Kellen Moore at coordinator, which is why we're talking about that, Mr. William Burney. With that said, I think we do have a super chat I did not get to, so let me go ahead and bring that up right here. And that is our guy, Aaron. He dropped 5 earlier. We were talking about, I think, the Dak contract.
Super chat.
And he said, Patrick No-C Walker wrote a piece today on Dak being extended. He says he doesn't usually do that without info. Is this happening today? I'd be shocked. But one thing I was thinking about when I was rolling through my prep for today's show, and it's kind of hit or miss with Jerry Jones, but sometimes, man, if he's talking about a specific contract a lot, usually that can get done sooner rather than later. And I was thinking about that, like maybe something is coming down the pike. When, I don't know. Ideally, I'm pretty sure they would like to get that thing done prior to the season. That way they can know what's going on after the season contractually for guys like CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, etc. Tyler Biadasz could be another one too. Tyler Bigadish, my bad. Tyler Bigadish. But might be something to that, Aaron. Might be something to it. Could also just be him trying to get out in front of the media and saying, hey, it ain't us. Doors open. Does take 2 to tango. It does take 2 to tango. Yes, Malcolm, if you were late to the party, we did talk about the Giants' key players, Dexter Lawrence. We talked about Tyler Bigadish and Dexter Lawrence. We put up some Dex film, who was an absolute monster last year. Guy had 43 pressures from the 0 or 1 tech, which is more than triple. I mean, it's just nuts. 43 pressures from 0 or 1 compared to the second place, which was 13. So, yeah, we broke it all down, man. If you missed today's banger of a show, hashtag run that thing back. So, later today, final show, Vash Lombardi live. We're going to be discussing, I believe, the Giants offense against the Cowboys defense. We flipped it. And then Mo will be back on for prime time. And tomorrow we'll have our sessions, our normal session with our guy, Patrick No-C Walker. Now, I saved this for last, and I meant to kind of tease this at the beginning of the show, but we do have a little bit of program breaking news. After a year off, after a year hiatus, we are bringing back the film master himself, the Round Table Hall of Famer, one of the GOATs of this thing, Okoye Wednesdays. A lot of new people here. We weren't this heavy my first year A to Z Sports Dallas. We weren't this heavy. But me and Okoye started something in year one, randomly by the middle of the season, where I brought him on. We break down film, we'll break down opposing team, and we made it a thing every Wednesday or Thursday, depending on the schedule. Well, it has been confirmed last night. Me and Okoye were going back and forth. He's fired up for it. I'm fired up for it. If you missed Okoye Wednesday/Thursdays, just type in Okoye on the channel. You'll find it, man. We go in. We break down much like this, honestly. It's kind of just like this, but we'll have Okoye's eyes, his mind, his articulation of what he's seeing, plus just general Cowboys versus opponent talk as well. It's going to be fire. So the end of these weeks, and I got another one that I'm waiting to drop, and maybe I'll drop it soon. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when it comes to the guests, are going to be absolute bangers. Wednesdays we'll have Okoye. Thursdays, Patrick No-C Walker, and I got something lined up for Fridays. We're kind of dotting the T's or dotting the I's, crossing the T's, right? And we'll figure that out. But boy, year three, A to Z in the morning, Skywalker Show in the morning is going up. It's going up. And if you don't know who Okoye is, you'll get to know who Okoye is real fast. Real fast. Just type in Okoye Media on YouTube and you'll learn you something. You will learn you something. All right, so that was kind of the surprise news. Forgot to tease it at the beginning of the show, but there you have it. Okoye Wednesdays will be back. We'll have a better name for it. But at the time, we were just like, hey, Okoye coming through on Wednesday. We call him Okoye Wednesdays, and we had a fantastic time, man. You learn a lot of stuff when you listen to him. With that said,
Push the goddamn button.
push the button. All this dope for free, Iceberg Q. My East Coast brethren, you might hear a whole lot of Jones be flying around. I try not to say it when I'm doing my show. Jesse be laughing at me when it slip up. That's what happens, man. Shouts out to my guys. Shouts out to y'all. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Be out of here. Peace.